right, Matrixx and Rhodes show supporters, we're going to talk about Madam Web. And judging by the box office, we may be the only people talking about it. Oh my God. This whole film looks like it's going to be a wreck at the box office. A complete wreck. And there are some box office projections in these couple of articles we're going to be looking at, but once again, we have a studio in Sony, and look, Sony's put out some good comic book stuff. You know, those Venom movies, I really like them, especially that first one. I loved it. But, you know, you got somebody really likable in it, Tom Hardy, sort of an alpha male, threw in a little Woody Harrelson in the sequel, and pretty good stuff, right? The first Spider-Man, good by Sony. You've got this last one, it was epic. It was one of the best comic book movies I've ever seen, right? And then we've got this, Madam Web. Now, I don't know who's calling the shots at these studios, but continuing to roll out these side characters that nobody cares about, and in particular, nobody's going to go see, and if they do, the stories are so bad that you get ratings that look like this. I mean, 17% from the woke mainstream media? Are you kidding me? They slurp up this dog crap. They hate this film. Hell, the audience is 60% right now, and that's not good. That's not good at all. And some of the reviews are coming in from critics, and when I tell you, they have destroyed this movie. Some of them actually bring up horrible storytelling and characters. Why a studio would make a movie about a character, and look, in the 80s, when I was growing up, 70s, 80s, I was locked into some comics. I barely know this character. I barely know it. And I used to buy those, you know, in comic encyclopedias where it gave you the special powers of every person in the DC universe and the Marvel universe, and you'd be like, oh wow, it's like a dictionary of superheroes. I'm sure they still put them out. Their weaknesses, their strengths, what they can do. I think I remember one of them actually had how much can they bench press. I thought it was pretty impressive when you got around to the Hulk and the Thing. Let me tell you that. Nonetheless, they roll out these movies and nobody exactly knows why. Outside of the fact that they're somehow, some way trying to prop up characters that nobody cares about. And look, you've already got the studio, you already got people involved with the film trying to cover their butts because this kind of disaster could end up being a career killer. All right, so now we're hearing about these rewrites that were going on because the story was terrible. Now, according to the film star Dakota Johnson, it seems the script for the film underwent pretty extensive adjustments while filming. Speaking with the Wrap, she confirms the script she signed on to the project with was very different than the one that made it to the screen. So she's saying the one she signed on to was good? Because judging by the ratings, this one is dog shit. And no, I'm not going to see it. Quote, there were drastic changes, and I can't even tell you what they were. How much are you locked in exactly? Now, keep in mind, there was a video that surfaced just the other day talking about how much these people that are involved in these projects don't care about the actual comics or the characters. You would think that would be a prereq. It's not, evidently. It's not. They don't care about that. Let's put a bunch of females in it and make it woke and send it out to the theater. The audience will love it. That shit gets rejected like Dikembe Mutombo. I mean, come on. She adds the biggest issue was filming her character's future visions, which offered multiple versions of the same scene from different perspectives. That sounds terrible. Quote, it added so many different camera setups, like triple the amount of work, and it was very complex, and there's only like minor differences between each version of the same scene. So it was like puzzle pieces and really paying attention to what the moment we're in and what angle we're in and the continuity and things like that. So not only did you make a horrible story, put together a horrible story, but you made it confusing on top of it, audience is going to love that. They're going to love it. They're not going to love it at all, and neither do the critics. The critics that will literally go out of their way to try to prop up dog shit like this. I mean, Morbius literally grossed $167.5 million worldwide. That's awful. That's awful. Keep in mind, Venom and Carnage, that sequel they put out, Let There Be Carnage, those combined for like $1.4 billion in box office gross. I mean, really, it's pretty good. Morbius, nobody needed a Morbius movie. Nobody in their right mind needed a Madam Web movie. I was like, wow, this looks terrible. So with 63 reviews counted on Rotten Tomatoes, the film currently sets at a truly astonishing, woeful 16%, which is just the tiniest fraction ahead of Morbius's 15%. Well, congratulations. It's got 103 reviews. It's up to 17%. You've graduated to 17% for a movie that you wrote for the very people that are destroying this thing. And by the way, 60% for the audience is, while shockingly high, is not good. Not good. Listen to some of this. Some of these reactions from some of the critics. And I can't stand critics, but this is pretty wild. It really is. I found one earlier. Let me just scroll down here to Deadline. And we all know how Deadline will prop up some of the worst movies in the history of the earth if you ram a bunch of identity politics and slam a bunch of boring females into it. Well, not this time. Not this time. The movie was so bad, even they didn't try to hide it. Madam Web embodies the pitfalls of mainstream superhero cinema. Films not driven by story and character, but seemingly by studio mandates. They call out the studios over their identity politics. That's shocking. That's shocking. And franchise considerations. I mean, that is wild. Wild. This person says it's still better than Morbius. Look at this. Madam Web opens in cinemas Wednesday, expected to take in around $20 million for 6 days. $20 million for 6 days. Wow. Wow. Not only is the latest addition to the Marvel canon lacking true emotional core, it's devoid of any key elements that make a movie successful. In the translation from screen to audience's psyche. That's the rap. How about the Rolling Stone? It is Cats, the movie of superhero movies. God, not a single decision seems of sound mind. Not a single performance feels in sync with the material. I don't understand. Why are you doing these woeful spin-off character films? I don't get it. Now that middle Spider-Man movie, it was far from good. Spider-Man Far From Good, that was an awful film. Of those Spider-Man movies, Sony really got that one wrong. They did. So, we've seen this. This is nuts. This is truly crazy. The very people that they make this crap for, that they manufacture this crap for, they hate the film. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. They cater to you. They hated it. It was a disaster. As soon as I saw the first trailer, I was like, who in their right mind? Who are you? Madam Web? Madam Web? Question mark? Are we getting a definition of this character along before the movie even starts? What is your direct connection to Spider-Man? Question mark. Is Spider-Man or Venom showing up in this film? Is Michael Keaton as the Vulture showing up in this film? Put in a question mark after all three of those. Is Craven going to show up in this film? No, and no. Okay, bleep this movie. And judging by the box office, everybody said bleep this movie. Twice, just to be sure. Wow. Tell me what you think. Another colossal failure. The MCU. I don't know if this is connected to the MCU. Might as well be. Sounds like it should be. If it's not, honorary member of the MCU. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.